in our lab, but opening labs around the world. So today, the exact website has had over 5 million page views. You can see the page views over time. You see people don't tend to search the website on weekends. It's very disappointing. They take a Christmas here as well. Virtually all countries have actually had hits on the exact website. Those films hits from Togo as well as Svalbard. We're pushing people actually visit those locations and want to get on the exact website. It's been gratifying to see this resource used so heavily by so many different groups around the world. And now we estimate tens of thousands of diagnoses based on the information contained here. So that's information that we can use. That's the way in which we can use the different data to understand the causes of rare diseases. There are many other scientific applications of this data. I'm not going to have time to go through those in detail. I'll just mention them very briefly. We can explore the patterns of mutation and variation across all human genes and learn in much higher resolution exactly how those patterns vary from person to person and across populations. Critically, and this represents a very fine area of research, we can look not only at the variants that are present in the exact data set, but also the variants that are missing, which is what we're seeing with Michael Smoker, graduate student in Mark Taylor's lab, working with our team. Taylor has developed a model that allows us to predict actually with quite a great degree of precision which features of the genome have less variation than we expect to see by chance, and that points us to regions where variation is missing because it tends to be damaging when it's found in the population, and turns out these regions are incredibly enriched for disease-causing mutations. So this map of missing variation actually points us to regions in the genome where if we find a variant in a disease patient, it has a much higher probability of being disease-causing. That's already proving useful for our rare disease patients, as well as studies in autism, schizophrenia, and other diseases. And final use, again, I won't talk about this in detail, is finding what we call human knockouts. So I think some of you may be familiar with the concept of a knockout mouse, which is a mouse that's been engineered to lack a particular gene, so specific genes have been knocked out in a mouse. And knockout mice have been generated now for more than 20 years. They're extremely useful in understanding exactly what the function of those knockout genes are. For very obvious ethical reasons, it's not possible to knock out genes in humans, but of course we can look for rare individuals who have knocked out those genes through naturally occurring variation. In other words, what copies of those genes actually undergone a mutation at some point during their evolutionary history that results in those genes being completely inactivated. There are, in fact, over more than 1,000 genes where at least one individual within the exact data set shows a signature being knocked out in at least one person. So we're studying those human knockouts to see if we can learn more about the genes that are affected by those mutations. Now we have a lot of work ahead of us with ESAC, and of course many of the projects related to ESAC around the world. And these fall into a number of different categories that we're released over the course of the next year. One big challenge ahead of us is simply increasing the scale of the data. Now, it turns out we can do a lot of good with 60,000 exomes. We can do even more good as we start to increase that number of samples. In particular, when it comes to identifying regions of the genome where variation is missing, the resolution of those regions of the genome becomes better and better as we have more and more samples to this data set. So later this year, we're hoping to be able to release a new data set that will have twice the number of samples. So have more than 120,000 samples, giving us completely unprecedented resolution into those regions of the genome. Now, up until now, of course, given the nature of exome sequencing, we've been focused on protein fragments of the genome, so the 2% of the genome actually encodes the protein sequences. We're very interested in moving beyond that, and later this year we'll be releasing a version of ESAC that looks at the whole genome for more than 10,000 samples and actually allows us to look at patterns of variation in other bits of the genome as well. And finally, and this is a series of relatively small scale pilot studies, we're starting to think about ways in which it might be possible to find individuals who have what we call extreme genomes within ESAC. So these include people who have those knockout variants that I mentioned earlier, or who have variants that would be expected to cause very severe disease, but with hardly tell the person doesn't actually have that disease. We can take people with extreme genotypes and potentially all the way back to the design to do this. In some cases, it's actually possible to recontact those individuals, learn more about their health status, and potentially understand exactly what that particular gene is doing, or why they are actually protected from that particular disease. We're very excited about those studies as well. The move of genomics into big data will continue, and this will continue in ESAC and many other projects around the world. And I think I actually want to finish on this point. It's worth noting that I think genomics in some ways and genetics in general is a little bit inferiority complex. Sometimes we think about genetics as being kind of big data, but I actually argue that, and this is a slide specific by Eric Banks from the Data platform here, but I actually argue that human genomics has already reached the stage of big data, even in comparison to major technology companies. So one genome is, given that we sequence every genome to high coverage, so the expression of the genome sequence multiple times, it turns out the amount of data that we produce when we sequence the human genome is about 120 gigabytes of data. So by comparison to that, the average Netflix user streams about a third of that every month in watching their favorite shows. So your human genome is worth about 3 months worth of the average Netflix user's data. Now, it turns out the broad sequence is about one of those genomes every 10 minutes, and this is, I don't know how much you guys know about the broad sequencing facility, so it's about 4 blocks that way, and it is a factory for doing data, it's the biggest factory in the US for producing DNA sequencing data, and it's also staggering and intimidating rate. So that means that given we sequence one genome every 10 minutes, the broad produces more information than you find Netflix library every 3 months, and that pace of generation is continuing to grow. So right now we store 10 petabytes of genomic sequence data in our data cluster, and that is a phenomenal amount of data, even compared to something like Facebook. So Facebook stores 10 billion photos in their database, and that takes up only 1.5 petabytes of space. So it's only 15% of the amount of data. So all the photos that you've ever seen on Facebook, in fact all the photos that anyone has ever seen on Facebook, take up to 15% of the data that the broad has stored from our genome exome sequencing activities over the last 10 years. So we have already reached the whole genome era, and I think we have reached the point where this large data is really having an impact, not just on rare disease diagnosis, but on understanding the biology of every gene in the genome. So that's I'd like to finish by thanking everyone who's been involved in generating this data. I guess it's particularly important that a few people here, multiple lab is a postdoctoral scientist in my lab who's involved not just in the ESAC project, where he was the lead analyst, but also many of the rare disease projects that we've conducted in the lab, including the diagnosis of the DM13 family I mentioned. Eric Nickel, Conrad Kuczewski, and Pedro Simoka all contributed very actively to the work in the ESAC Aggregation Consortium, as well as many other members of my lab and other labs. I'd like to thank all of the principal investigators who agreed to donate their data to the ESAC project. Without these people's willingness, not just willingness to donate data, but their enthusiasm about allowing the data that they generated, which is approximately $50 million worth of data, but allowing the data they generated to be pulled together for the common good, projects like ESAC are simply impossible. I also want to finish by saying a huge word of thanks to two groups of people here at the Broad, the Broad Genomics platform, which generated more than 90% of the sequencing data that was used in the ESAC project, and also a huge thanks to the data science platform here at the Broad, which produced the tools that were absolutely required to perform the tools and computing power that were absolutely required to perform analysis on the scale of ESAC. With that, I'd like to finish by thanking you guys for listening. Thanks very much.
Thank you for sharing your knowledge. My question is, today we know how to sequence our DNA. Do you think that in the future there will be a potential that we have frequent access to our own genome in a way that we would be able to predict or to see actually any mutation that can happen through the course of life that could lead in a disease?
Sure. So I think the sequence is going to be about whether things will move in the direction of people having better access to their own genetic data. I think it's strong evidence that things like the world is already moving in that direction. So I mentioned there's already companies out there that make it possible to get access to only some small fraction of your genome in a direct consumer fashion, but that's just having to go through a doctor and get direct access to your genetic information. So that's already happening. There's a lot of work still to be done. I think there's still large sections of medicine that are still stuck in a more paternalistic frame of mind, where there are very healthy people that bring the past people want to learn more about their DNA. The second part of the question was about changes in DNA that grow through life. And although it's true that all this are born with a genome, a particular genome that's present in the fertilized embryo that gives rise to all the tissues in our body, over the course of our life, of course, each of our cells undergoes mutations. Some of those mutations are very important because they can potentially lead to cancer. Cancer is sometimes a disease that's caused by mutations of the protein in cells. And I think the answer is yes. It's already becoming the case that when people have cancer, their actual cancer patients, genome sequencing is now almost routine, routinely applies to the tumor and to the blood DNA of those individuals. So learn more about these genetic changes that occur in their cancer and potentially to therapies to those cancers and how that works actually being done to the cancer growth. But it would also be possible to sequence the blood from the individual and track the presence of mutations over time that may indicate the presence of a pre-malignant cancer in their bloodstream. I think we're still some ways towards petabytes of information from many much larger numbers of individuals, it would have been possible to do that. Sure.
Thank you.
Could you comment on the story in the news about 2 or 3 days ago involving, I think, some part of the United States government funding a project calling for physician volunteers to make available their genomes. Thank you.
So that's really interesting. You're asking about melody and plagiarism scandal. So I don't think much about that, but I can certainly talk about the initiative you spoke about. So this is also known as the Precision Medicine Initiative. This is an NIH-funded and in fact White House supported initiative that's just been launched. I think it's an incredibly exciting project. The long-term goal of this is to recruit at least 1 million. In fact, the total number will likely be much higher than 1 million volunteers from around the US. This will likely in a number of ways. There will be engagement with health systems, so people involved in particular health systems around the US will be recruited into this process. It will also be possible to directly volunteer for this project. So anyone here in the US can actually volunteer and sign up to become part of that project. The long-term vision for what will actually happen with this project is not yet fully determined, but what seems likely is that the project will collect information not just about the genetics of those people, hopefully eventually including whole genome sequencing, but also lots of information about their health records, as well as questionnaire information and all sorts of other information about their environment and their health and their traits. And that will then be combined together in a way that's actually made accessible to researchers. So I think there are obviously privacy concerns that have to be addressed by this project, and I think that those will be raised and discussed in many ways over the coming months. But I think what's interesting is how tremendous exciting the project is. With 1 million people for whom we have complete genetic data, as well as a huge amount of information about their environmental risk and their health status, it will be possible to reveal information about the genes because they were previously inaccessible. It will be possible, for instance, to find the gene knockout that I mentioned earlier among those 1 million people, and determine exactly what affects those gene knockouts have on health. And it will be possible to study all sorts of things that we really have no idea about right now that will emerge completely unexpected from medicine that magnitude. So I think all of us are actually extremely excited about seeing that project come together. We hope that it's a shift beyond the current election cycle, and there's a strong long-term funding commitment to that project, and I think that really will transform the way we think about genetic medicine.
Great, Doc. Your last 2 slides made pretty evident this amount of data that's available. What specifically would be required for the analysis bit of it? Not just the hardware, but the methods that we use. I mean, analyzing 1 million data sets is completely different than going to 1,000 data sets.
Yeah, that's a great question. That's actually a question that I think keeps a lot of us awake at night. So I actually showed this work, I just gave you some absolute numbers of the number of genomes that the produces. So we're talking about the rate at which that data is going up is just staggering. It's an exponential increase in the amount of data that we generate per day. So I think we have to fundamentally change the way we run our analysis. The analysis methods that worked a year ago or 2 years ago start to break down very quickly. We start applying those to 10 times or 100 times as much data as we had back then. And so there's the road is at the forefront actually in many ways in leading the development of methods that can be applied across these very large-scale genome databases. And there's a couple of things I can mention very briefly that I think will be really important here. The first is that we here at the road and many others around the world have moved our data onto the cloud. So most of you I think will go to the cloud. The cloud is basically a collection of computers that exist somewhere else other than here. And the cloud is extremely important because it means that it's possible to actually use it in a very flexible way. So rather than buying a certain number of hard drives and storing data on those hard drives, it becomes possible to rapidly change the number of hard drives you have access to. So screen up a new set of hard drives to store more data, perform a particular analysis, and then move the data off and close that down. So it increases the flexibility we have in data analysis. The second thing is that we need to really change the way that we run analysis and the software that we actually run on these data sets. And that involves things like massive parallelization. So technologies like Spark, for instance, that allow us to do analyses in many different thousands of CPUs simultaneously and spread these genomic data over many different computers and others and also many different computers simultaneously and pull that information together again into a final data set. Well, that's really required for the next wave of genome sequencing. Beyond that, where we are in even 2 years' time, I think none of us really know. We're barely going to be able to keep up for that 2 years, but I hope we can at least get ourselves afloat just long enough to get to the next phase of genome analysis.
Very interesting talk. I'm curious, what sort of biochemical biophysical follow-up do you have for these proteins that you find to have mutations? Do you contact a lab if they're working on family proteins, for example, or what sorts of things do you do?
Yeah, that's another great question. So the particular research is extremely important. If we, and this was, I think, illustrated pretty well in the case of the L1 region in that particular family. So at the same time, there was very little known about it. We knew that there'd been a little bit of biochemical work done showing that it interacted with a set of other proteins, some of which were also known to also be involved in particular disease, but not much else had been done. So over the course of the next 2 years after the discovery of that gene, a small army of researchers that actually mobilized by one of our collaborators, Clark, so basically pulled a consortium of collaborators together with expertise in different areas, including separative modeling of a particular gene, there was work on a knockout mouse of that particular gene, physical analyses were done to look at the binding of this particular protein's actin in a subsegregated state, and there's 100 different cell biology experiments also done simultaneously, all of which pointing to a very specific role for this particular protein in the same complex that was known to be involved in other proteins that cause the same disease. Now that was extremely late research activity. I think that the key question that we need to think about, and the question that exercises a lot of the minds here at the road, is how do we scale it up? How do we take that type of gene biology activity and apply it to the level of discovery that we're likely to be seeing over the next few years? I think there's a couple of ways which we can go about doing that. One is developing very flexible assays like RNA sequencing and protein analysis that we can actually find lots of proteins regardless of what their function is. And the second thing is to really think hard about what the core functions are of lots of proteins across the genome and develop robust assays that we can use across lots of different genes simultaneously. And I think there's lots of things we just haven't yet thought of. Robust high-throughput assays can be applied in many different ways to learn more about the function of a gene we discover and understand the binding technology.
So there are things like there's a discrepancy between how much data we have and how much information we process from the day. So for example, you said only 15% of the data constitutes all the photos like pretty much everyone has ever taken. And with all the photos you could pretty much reconstruct like everyone's life and everything about their life. So is it because like the genome data is like so I guess low quality or have our souls not caught up with how much data we actually have?
So it's a question about how much information is actually, how much information is present in the Facebook photo library compared to the genomic library? That's an interesting question. So first I quibble I think with the idea that the Facebook photos actually needs to reconstruct the entirety of people's lives. We know that Facebook generally only shows a very specific sliver of people's lives that they choose to display. But no, the photos have amazingly fine information content, and I think that's true because if you're going to take a look at the images, it's particularly both factual and emotional information for images, and anyone is suffering from digital information. The core part of your question, I think, relates to the quality of the underlying data. I think there's a lot to be improved there. I mentioned just very briefly in passing, but at the moment we don't just sequence the genome once when we sequence it. We actually have to sequence it somewhere between 30 and 40 times to build up enough information to be very confident that a particular region of the genome actually has a variation or not. And that is really a reflection of the fact that the underlying data is still noisy. We have very short segments of DNA, we have to match the genome, and those little segments of DNA have a relatively high error rate. So we have to increase the amount of data we generate to really be confident we actually hold the variant properly. As technology increases, the requirements for that DNA data will actually start to go down. So the second thing is that 10 petabytes of data represents the rawest form of data. So that is the data in terms of the raw rates that we store. The data we have to share with our collaborators is actually a very condensed version of data that only shows the slight variation at least one individual, and it's much, much smaller. So the data set, for instance, in that particular case, we had a petabyte of raw sequencing data that condenses down to about 3.3 terabytes of very cool data. And so we can actually store the DNA, we were looking at information in the process, we can actually store useful information about DNA in a much smaller and more efficient way. There's still a lot we have to learn, but I think we are getting there in terms of extracting functions from this data.
Hi, thank you very much for
for your talk. So I'm an undergraduate at Boston, so I might not be quite well aware of the technicality of your presentation, but my question was to do with reference to precision medicine. So you understand that sequencing DNA and being able to have then 120 gigabytes of data on a person would be very important in terms of being able to treat each individual and being able to distinguish variabilities in different people. However, my question is, so hypothetically, if you have a patient who had a type of malignant cancer and it got treated and therefore the patient got deleted, and you sequence it after it, right? How would you be able to backtrack and find the data in order to be able to compare them, to be comparable to a different person? And is there any other mode of substitution for the information you should be able to improve how you're able to read a person's DNA?
Right, so I think in a specific sense for someone who has a cancer, who wants to go therapy and has particular mutation that disappears, there's a really interesting question on this thing actually explored by many researchers. This is basically this has to do with the cancer susceptibility or sensitivity to particular drugs and their response to therapy. Now, once a mutation disappears from cancer, you can't recover it, it's now gone. But there are now a number of projects here in Boston, many other places around the world, where people are sequencing people's cancer multiple times over the course of their therapy, and that actually allows them to reconstruct the exact genetic changes that occur within that cancer, both as the cancer grows, metastasizes and changes, and also the cancer response to therapy. So they can see which genetic changes disappear when you target that particular cancer, and which genetic changes actually become more common when you target that cancer. Those genetic changes become more common, probably genetic changes that confer resistance to the therapy, and so that actually provides really useful information in terms of understanding what the mechanisms are for cancer developing resistance to a particular drug. That's a part of resolution. The challenge of one of the things that is still expensive to generate sequencing data on a tumor, but as the price of sequencing goes down, it's in a couple of $1,000s per genome right now, and that's after going to actually become possible to sample people's blood or their tumors at very high resolution, so many different times over the course of the cancer, and develop a much higher resolution sense of exactly what's going on, how the cancer behaves over time, and also potentially to tell therapies, as you see a new point of cancer, such a rising frequency within that person's tumor, to apply new therapies that actually target that sequence of cancer cells.
I have a question on this last week's talk, unfortunately, on epigenetics. Maybe you could just clarify something for me. When we're sequencing the genome, we're not sequencing the genome in a context, for example, in a genetic context. And what we're looking at is we're trying to correlate between the genome and the expression down the road, which we're calling a disease, whatever we might call it. We call it an abnormality. It may or may not be especially. But we're missing all this piece in between, in the middle, many pieces, but the epigenetic piece. And so what I'm curious about is, as we go through and we're sequencing the genome, are we developing techniques that actually identify for this genome that there are, as an example, epigenetic switches there that are not necessarily present on other genomes? Are we beginning to try to look at the bigger picture, as it were, to understand the genome as a whole, or are we just too early at this stage to deal with it?
I think it's a challenging area. I mean, the way when I talk about sequencing genome, you're absolutely right. This is a genome in a descriptive context. Basically, in practice, what this means is we take blood from an individual, the DNA from many cells is extracted from that blood, and all that DNA is basically mixed together independent of cell context, smashed up into little pieces, sequenced, and then stitched back together. So we lose all the information about the epigenetic state of that tissue as a whole. We also definitely lose the information about the epigenetic state of individual cells within that person's blood. And that is, as we know, extremely useful information. So there are ways that we can imagine trying to recover that type of information. I think lots of people have heard about technologies that allow us to look at epigenetics on whole tissue samples at a very large scale. It's also possible to start looking at single cells. So this is work that's tremendously exciting, actually. It turns out it's possible to take a blood sample or a tissue sample from anyone, to disaggregate that tissue sample into individual cells, and then to sequence, albeit relatively low coverage, the DNA and the RNA from each of those cells individually. And so that allows us to actually peer into the impacts that those variants have at a cell level. So we can actually see not only what the DNA is within that particular cell, but also what the expression patterns of the genes that are expressed in that particular cell. I think that combination of genetic information about epigenetic state, and gene expression combined together, potentially in a single cell setting, is what we require to think about some of the real complexities of diseases that affect not just one tissue in the body, but one particular cell type or subset of cells in the body.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rita. We really live in a great place. It's great to see so many interested and engaged folks come out tonight, so thank you very much. I'm excited to tell you about epigenetics, this field we've been working in, I've been working in for about 15 years now. It's exciting from the fundamentals of, I think this is how the string of letters that is our genome, our DNA, is brought to life. It's an exciting field from the science, and I'll talk to you about that. It's an exciting field for the therapeutics, as we've learned that more and more diseases are caused by malfunction of our epigenetic controls, our gene controls, I'll talk about. And as you've probably read, it's an exciting field from the therapeutics and the biotech perspective, as companies around here and throughout the country and the world are starting to think about ways to develop drugs that will change the epigenetics of your cells and may be very effective therapeutics going forward. So I came from a medical background, did a pathology residency, but I saw this field and I thought about the opportunities that, it's very hard to change DNA sequence, although people are trying to figure out how to do it. There's a lot of opportunity in changing how genes are controlled, and that's what really brought me to this space. I guess in 1999 when I arrived in Boston and started my postdoc research, and then in 2005 when I started my group at MGH. And let me tell you about the field. Let's talk about the field, and then I'll tell you a little bit about our science and where I hope to take that. So it's hard. The mystery here is that you only get one genome. The fertilized egg has this set of DNA, set of chromosomes, 2 copies of each chromosome. That's what you get, right? And from that genome, right, there's this development, and ultimately there's an organism, and there's hundreds of cell types, right? Yet it's just one genome, and each of these cell types has the same DNA, the same genetic information at its heart, yet they are so different. And that's really the mystery that we want to talk about today. How's that possible? So, definitions, and just to generally frame this, very broadly, the field of epigenetics wants to understand how our biology, ourselves, is determined by how the genome is read, by how the genes are controlled by the gene's activity. And I would just contrast that with genetics. I mean, we think a lot about genetics.